Just a moment, guys. I'm filling a couple of things and I'm moving around with my laptop in my hand, so I don't want you to be seeing my messy home. Hope you're all doing well. Okay, hold on. Ah, better than me. There's a couple more people who said they were there, they'd be there, so we're just gonna wait for them, okay? Maybe you want to, I don't know, enjoy a nice cup of Joe in the meantime.
Okay.
Uh, hold on. Gina, I don't know why I feel I know you.
Oh, really? Maybe.
Yeah.
I am not I'm not one of your 20-year-old students, that's for sure.
Listen, I'm also not a 50-year-old professor. How's that? So we're on equal footing right there.
It's
And
very
yeah,
possible. You never know.
yeah, nah, nah. And
I
actually,
actually I used to work in a coffee shop in Worcester back in like the early 2000s.
oh,
And I feel like whenever I run into someone and they recognize me from somewhere, it tends to be there.
oh, yeah, that's a
It was
possibility.
the Java Hut back in the day.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, I love that place.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, it's been so long. When I worked there, I had my first daughter and she's 22 now, so it's been a very long time.
People, don't listen to this. I'm not 22 years old. 1980 was just last week. I know that for sure.
That's for sure.
All right, let me try to do this. Oh, I'm also, well, my laptop is about to die, so I have to head downstairs. I love how Josh was like just grinning, like ha ha ha. She's a mess. Yeah, kind of, but not
Well,
really.
while
Okay.
you're getting set up, I'm just gonna go actually make that cup of coffee. I'll be right
Yes, I just got mine, but now I have two hands and multiple puppies. Oh, you guys are staying right there, please. Please, no whining. Just stay there. Enjoy the beautiful rain. Well, you can't stop in the middle of the stairs. Sorry, I'm talking to myself. I should put that mic off, turn that mic off. We still have people joining. Let me see. I try to turn that camera on. There we go. It won't. Oof, it's been something, guys. You know what? It's always a good thing when it gets messy like that and it's on my side, because you can all chill and be like, well, at least I don't look like that. So, and you can relax about it. So, um, right now I'm not in Worcester, so all meetings we're gonna do are going to be at the Zoom. And I'm so sad because Gina, you have the haircut I want. So my hair grows really, really fast. I have to wrap it right now. I've been shaving it all year, but I've never found a good person to do the shaving job. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, darn it.
Oh no.
I'm going to restart my dreadlocks, and because my sister kept her, we had ours as a bet. And when mine went down to like my butt, I said, this is just too messy. I shaved it all off.
Oh
And
wow.
yeah, yeah. Well, I thought it aged me, but now I regret it. Whatever. So what she did to update hers is just shave all around,
I
And
understand. Yep.
oh, and it looks so good. So good.
Mm-hmm. I
But
like that look.
well, she's 11 years younger than me, so I think she can kind of pull it off. So I'm just gonna do grow short deadlocks. Let's see. I have someone who's having a hard time getting in. Okay, in the meantime, let's just talk about the setup in general. So a lot of you were on the camera and then you got off. But technically you want to be on the camera because the reason is I want to talk about your setup at the same time. Okay. And I'm gonna pick on Gina because I like her and I hope she can tell. So she won't feel anything about it. So Gina right now, she has a window right behind her, which throws shade at her. You
So do
see
you want
that?
me to move from the
Nope,
window?
not
Oh,
now.
okay.
So I'm
Okay.
gonna give you all tips as we move along. And so Julie's like, I'm getting ready, man. I'm like centering this camera. I'm doing you go, young lady. Jeanne Desaulniers Goyette.
Good morning.
Good morning. That could not sound more French Canadian.
It is.
And I'm in Montreal right now.
Oh, you're so lucky. The food is so good.
Do I look like I need extra food? So
Well, it is so
it is
good.
absolutely delicious. Someone's connecting their audio. All right, great. So there's a whole way to frame this. Okay, so just so I tell you, this is what we're going to do is try to make it so that you're at your best, looking at your best. So there's something about angle, lighting. It's also posted, but if we have time, I'll also show it to you. First, let me start. People are still coming in. Okay, so someone said, I'm currently on my way home. Mary, yes, do not, yes, do not drive. And I had a student do this. We will not kill anybody on the road today. Do not drive and participate in the meeting. Just put it on audio. You'll be good. And it's being recorded. So I'm so glad we have enough people because there's some people who can't make it. And someone said, please make sure to record it. I said, I always do because people can reuse it. But if there's not a big attendance, there's not going to be a lot of questions. So it's not going to be really helpful. So please help those who are not there and ask tons of questions that you think they'd like to know, etc., etc. Okay, so I'm gonna keep letting people in the meantime, and the only thing I'm gonna start over if they come in way after that will have to do with the camera setup. So usually the way I do this is I go through the syllabus really, really quickly. I'm hoping that you're reading the bulk of it, but going over important points. And I apologize for the mess up with Blackboard. Last week I was hospitalized for heat exhaustion. Another reminder that I'm not young any longer. Like, holy cow, this is a thing? Dehydration makes you sick? What the heck? As a former athlete, I was appalled at that. But anyway, so this put me behind, and they've updated Blackboard. So a lot of the links didn't work anymore, and I'm still catching up. A lot of the documents that I've been there for some time are dead link. So for just to help everyone, don't feel bad. Send me an email and say, hey, by the way, I found a dead link here. Take a snapshot because it's really helpful, the different section. And I could feel very generous and just pay you for being helpful in that sense. And the only currency that students are interested in, and that would be great. So that would count as participation. And whenever you help other students, that also I put that inside participation, which is not an accurate number, you see, because it kind of fluctuates. And some people cannot participate as much. They can do the minimum, like the required feedback on discussion board, but others, they really get into it and they help people with technical issues and stuff like that. There's no expectation for you to do that, but I show my appreciation by putting this into the participation umbrella. Okay, so now I'm going to excuse me, also remind you guys that you're not all in the same sections. Those are different sections that are meeting at the same time, but you can pick everybody's name, and I urge you to make contacts with your classmate. According to research, the reason why a lot of first-year students from community college fail at the four-year college is because they don't have the cohort system that it goes on in a four-year college. In a four-year college, everybody that comes into a program in the fall graduate with the same date. That's why they say class of, right? 4 years later. And they follow each other. And the only time that they miss each other is when they pick electives of their choice. But the core group, they're always together. This it gives an incentive to create study group. And research has also shown us that study group is absolutely helpful. I have a hard time setting the tone to create study group online. I have not mastered that, even though I've been doing online, or I should say remote instruction for at least, I would say 20, 25 years. Yep, way before Zoom, when we would do this doing PowerPoint. So that was a long time ago. And even before that, we used to do it by mailing tapes. Yeah, that was remote learning. They'd mail you a tape, and part of your class would be on the community channel on the TV. It's very exotic, but it did happen. So to go back to what we were saying, let me share with you right now my screen. I'm just gonna go with the syllabus. And so the syllabus is for all the sections, even though you're all mixed. Okay, so hold on a second. I'm gonna share my whole entire screen there. Yeah, let's stop too. You guys are seeing it? Oh, this is amazing. There's a new functionality in Zoom, which by the way, I've been using because I had summer classes, but this is a really cool functionality, which is necessary. I'm now using my MacBook. It's not even a year of me using Mac from switching from Windows, and it's been horrendous, absolutely horrendous. It's so that new functionality shows me what you see, which before I couldn't, and I couldn't see you because the way Mac doesn't do Windows. So I always had to tell people, you have to talk in the mic if you want to say something. You can't wave or anything like that. But now I can actually see you guys. And you guys can also see this, right? You can see my whole screen. Okay. So this front page here is a checklist of the main speeches that we're going to, hold on, someone is coming. And I don't know. Or is someone leaving? Yeah, because it's Mac, so it's not perfect. And so this is a checklist of all the speeches we're going to do. I'm going to refer to this and I'm going to talk in detail about them later on. Gina, do you happen to have some kind of, yes, thank you, light. But that light is behind you, right? Can you
Yeah,
place
I
it?
can move a little bit. I'll move a little bit.
Okay.
I won't disrupt the class. I'll just move a little bit.
No, you're not disturbing. It's just that I don't,
Not a problem.
I don't, you're like a night walker right now. Because I can't see you. Oh, here's Mary. Okay, there we go. Now I have my participant screen. Awesome. Okay, this is open like this so that you can write topic idea. You don't have to do it for assignment. I just put that out there. I'm gonna give you a million trick to annihilate procrastination. And one of the reasons that you procrastinate is that so now I see that Gina's hair is not shaved because I can see her in the light now, and I thought she had the hair shaved. But how you doing, Josh? Do you go by Josh or Joshua?
Any is fine, please. Yeah. You can call me Josh or Joshua. Yeah.
So the one that's really important to think about a topic would be the new discovery. The new discovery has very, very specific guidelines. In general, I'm not going to tell you what to talk about. I'm going to give you a theme, and then you're going to pick your topic under that theme. And we're going to develop that further. So this is a page for you and say, you know what, I want to get a head start. And this is the thing that I'm thinking about talking about, giving a speech about. But what you need to know is you're not beholden to your first choice. We can revisit, okay? Sometimes you start working on something, it's not going to matter until the new discovery. And you're like, oh my God, this is either too complicated or too intense, or I don't understand it. And then we sit down, you and I, either I help you understand it if we have the time, if things are not going too fast, or I simply help you find something else. Okay. I'm very supportive in that sense. I'm going to say it once. I think it's in the syllabus. I might repeat it constantly. You're allowed to have me work on your stuff over and over again until the due date. And even though both of us work for that grade, like you're the only one who's going to get the A for it. Okay. I'm very pro working on it. I am not, this is not about learning chapters. This is, so there's no homework besides building your speeches. All homework you're going to have are going to be related to building your speeches. And think of each of these as a project. So the only homework you have is related to that. And whatever is called quiz or exam in that setup is not a quiz or an exam. It's just a setup, and that's how Blackboard calls those things that I use, those tools that I use. We do not have things such as quiz, exam in this class. Your exam is your speech. And this looks awful, the whole thing, because I translated Word into Pages and that didn't work, and I was running late already, so it's ugly. If you want to see how it looks like, I can send you the one from last semester, but this is pretty much ugly, and I apologize, but there was no time once I got back home and I had to get the things ready. So 12/19 is the last day of class officially. By that time, I'm hoping we have everything under control. Things get really overwhelming really fast. You know this. As instructors, we go through the same stress that you guys go through. So the beginning of the semester is really intensive. I'm learning, just like you, what's new with Blackboard, or now you have new emails. Like, you know, there's always something, and you can't prepare for everything, but it's kind of fun. It keeps us on our toes and it makes it different. And if we don't look at it as something negative, then it's kind of neat to be able to you know, have something different each semester. But this includes, that date includes the last week of exam. We do not, hi Mary, how are you? You made it back, awesome. So this does not include the last week of exam, which we don't really have exam. So for us, it's just, we're going to be done a little bit earlier than that. Okay. But you will have that extension of about 4 days to complete if there's anything missing. My preferred email is Gmail, and it's been Gmail because you guys used to have Qmail, which was Google for Education. And we use YouTube, which is a tool of Google. And because you had Google for Education, you had a super, and I don't know how it works because they didn't send any announcement about this, and I haven't had time to ask IT to see what's going on. But Google for Education gives you a really strong and secure system, a complete environment, very great encryption, higher level. It was not a free account. It was not like a regular Gmail account. You had more storage. The storage was all super encrypted, like at the Apple level of encryption. And you were part of all the tools of Google, which includes YouTube. And by going through Qmail, you had a really private setup. Everybody is paranoid about putting things on YouTube. And it makes me smile a little bit, because if it was so easy to be found on YouTube, people would not be working overtime to do SEO optimization. Should I say that? That's like saying my PIN number or my whatever. It's a joke, but that's fine. It's a computer joke. So the fact that you don't have that any longer, I'm not sure about this, but there's still a way to make your stuff private. You cannot be found on YouTube if you don't want to be found. But before that, with Google for Education, with your Qmail, you would not be found at all, because the idea is we want people in that group to have a safe environment. And it was the same whether it was like Harvard that used Google for Education or a primary school. They didn't differentiate. They made it secure for everyone, even the adults. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay. So that's the legacy of that Gmail. And also at the time, it was really difficult to get our email through our phone. And usually when I'm not sick at the hospital, I'm pretty quick at answering emails. But so that's why I like to use that. But let's keep using it, because if you use my QCC email, there's hundreds of other people at the college that also use it. And it's just too much. It's filled with content, and it's going to be hard to find your emails. That's number one. Number two, when I send individual announcement, I'm always going to have that little picture at the bottom, which you saw in the first page of announcement, that says, please do not email me any assignment. And that's because if you email an assignment, even whether it's Gmail, which for me is the free Gmail, so it's the one that puts some of your email in the spam folder. So I have to go and make sure to catch it, because I set up the spam to delete right away, because my free Gmail gives me less storage gig. You guys are following me? I'm trying to explain the whole logic so that it makes sense to you, and so that you don't think that I'm doing things arbitrarily. I know a lot of instructors don't do that. They just tell you, do this, do that, and that's that. But I think if you understand a little bit my processes, then you will see that there's a reason behind the madness, and it kind of makes sense. But maybe you'll find something to help me with that as well. So we're going to stick with the Gmail. It's a good way. And we're going to stick with using Google Tool, and I'm going to show you how to use them to the most efficient way, let's put it. So we're going to do an online appointment. You do not have a textbook, because technically speech does not need a textbook. I used to have one because I taught this class in a similar format to researchers at UMass. So don't feel bad if you're not comfortable about public speaking. These were people sometimes with multiple PhDs, and part of their job was to sell their research to possible grant founders. So they had to deliver speeches, and the hospital had hired me. UMass is the / hospital university, right? Had hired me to help them deliver speeches so that they would be more proficient in getting grants. As you will notice, this is a skill that's really important, and you can be very good at other stuff, but still lacking a little bit in that area. But it's really necessary in not just the modern world, but in general. Since I've been tracking research on this, I would say that the top 10 skills that employers are looking for, 5 of them have to do with communication. Being able to write clearly, being able to explain something clearly, being able to work with others, that's group communication, being able to work with people of different cultural background, that's intercultural communication. It all encompasses interacting with our fellow human being, and you will see. So I think even though you might not be sure how important this class is, I'm going to tell you, I teach it the way I think it should be taught. So back in my time, we would call it a rhetoric class. Okay. A rhetoric is the art of public speaking. The whole system we're following based on what Aristotle and others after him have deemed important in how to do a speech. And why are we listening to these old guys thousands of years later? It's because in their society, a man, because the women didn't really have the rights of men, and only the firstborn men had rights, actually. All the other men were the same as women. To move from youth to adulthood, you had to give a speech. And at the end of which, there would be a debate. And this was publicly with all the other elders. You had a set amount of chances, and I can't remember right now because my brain is still a bit foggy. And if you didn't pass, you lost your title, but because it was a title to be firstborn. The firstborn inherited everything. I mean, this was not, there was a lot of pressure, let's just say, with that public speaking. You had to get ready and you had to get motivated. I went to school which taught following the Socratic method. So that's why I'm not really, even though I teach multiple type of classes, I teach math, I teach science, I have multiple degrees. For me, I think it's not about scoring points. It's about learning, and you will see that through the system. And this is why I help you until you get it, because it's not about a grade to me. It's about you leaving with tools that allows you to hit the ground running wherever you may go after you're seeing me. So we're sticking it to the man by having a very old version of the book that I used to use with my PhDs. And I'm in the process of writing mine right now. And we're going to use mine after I take the time to finish it. But in the meantime, this is my gift to you. So we have the virtual meeting, and I'm throwing points because it's participation, right? You're participating in an exercise, and the exercise is how to best prepare for this class. I cannot mandate you, but my experience is that adding these meetings, which is inside the schedule, has really changed the impact in the class. I have less people dropping out, and I have people finishing really in power mode, not low grades. There's no one with low grades because there's work involved, but we concentrate on the speeches. We don't concentrate on, tell me 4 things in chapter 4 that were about, I don't know, puppies. We don't do this. Everything you do is related. All the assignment is directly related to the speeches. So I think you meeting with me on a regular basis outside of my virtual hours, which are every Wednesday at this time, whether there's a plan or not. All I do is on Wednesday, I do work in front of my camera, which is turned on. So you walk in when you want to. You can let me know if you want a little bit of private time, but otherwise you can just walk in as it happens. The speeches are going to cost you the majority, and I don't think they're supposed to be 60. I think I recalculated that, but it's close to it. I think it was something like 55 or whatnot. It doesn't really matter. Assignments / quizzes, because that's what the system calls it. So that's why I put it there, but they're not quizzes. You know what I mean? It's going to be about 35%. And the class participation can actually be higher than 5%, if you can believe that. So you can make up for a lot of things, but the baseline is 5%. This was, I'm sorry for the mistake for this meeting. I scratched the previous date and it looked like 11, so I just typed without thinking because I was still in the fuzz of medication. But yeah, it was for Wednesday. So I'm glad that you all were able to make it. All of these are the main assignment, and they're all under separate sections, and they're all kind of controlled by speeches. Okay. These first 2, they're pretty much free points that I throw your way. Don't be too hard on yourself, because I'm not going to be. Okay, just use this to practice being in front of the camera. Like I'm talking to you right now and I'm trying to look at the camera, but I also have to pay attention to those who are coming in or those who are leaving. So my eyes are darting. But you will see that once I get into this, I'm just going to straight up look at you. And this is hard to get used to. We tend to want to look at the screen itself. But really, I'm talking to you. I need to look you in the eyes, and your eyes are my camera. And I don't know if you've noticed, but you can check this as I'm talking. Notice when I'm looking at the camera, but not at you, how different you feel about the connection. Maybe you don't feel anything, and that's okay, but maybe you do. So you will notice if you do that it's more powerful when I look at you directly. I know I don't see you, but I see you in my mind's eye. And that's what kind of what you want to go forward with. By the way, at the bottom of your screen, for me, it's at the top, but at the bottom of your screen, let me see. There used to be something, but now I don't see it. Okay. So there's a couple of hands gestures that you can point on. I think I don't have them anymore once I share my screen. If you can interrupt me and you click on those hand gestures, it's going to pop up and I'm going to know that you have a question. But try to keep the question related to the sections where we are, because we're going to spend the majority of the time on this. And then we're going to go over the Blackboard itself. And but if we stay within the section, it's going to help us, just elaborate in one particular area at a time. So the Qmail setup, it's just, I wanted you to email me so I knew you, and also so I could catch the one going into the spam folder, so I can manually tell Gmail, please, from now on, don't put that email into spam. And we need a connection. It's a communication class, so we kind of need to connect. We kind of need to get to know each other, and I want you to be comfortable with me. So it was important for me that we talked and that you approach. And I really like to see how different people approach things differently. And I am super excited about this semester because you guys seemed really, really awesome and into it. And it makes it so much more pleasant when it's that way. So that's going to be great. I was like, oh my God, email after email. After when I came out, it was, I think Friday or Saturday. I'm still fuzzy on this. And I started looking at email, but I couldn't answer because I couldn't, concentrate on the screen. But I was like, oh my God, they're so neat. They're so cool. They're like, hey, hi, how are you? I know it's kind of busy. Just wanted to let you know this is who I am. And I'm thinking, okay, so this part of communication, we won't have to delve on too much. I think these guys get it. For each of the speeches, what you'll do is it's multiple steps. We'll go over that. But in general, based on this, you have to produce a video on YouTube. So when we talk about a video, we talk about producing. That's the term. So it's going to be a little bit of different lingos. You produce your video on YouTube. Once it's produced on YouTube, there's links to show you how to make it private or things like that. I recommend to not make your videos private. It limits how and who can see things. You have to send personal links to people. It's just, so if I log in through my personal Gmail account, I can't watch it. It's better to make it unsearchable, I think they call it, something like that. It's in the notes in there. I'll show that to you as well. So that means that if people are searching for whatever videos, yours will never come to the top. And trust me, it will never come because they have trillions of videos in there. So you make it unsearchable, and then you post a link So anybody who has the link directly to the video can watch it. If you make it private, having the link does not allow us to watch it. You have to, one by one, give us the right to watch it. You can't do that for every single video. You'll never be out of there. And it's important that people have access to it, because for each video, people need to give feedback to a minimum of 2 classmates. Anyway, I'm jumping ahead, which I'm not supposed to. So you'll have to do this. You post it in the discussion board, you post the link, and you post a transcript. And I'm going to show you, you know what? You don't even have to type a transcript, because YouTube has changed the setup so that it produces it. You just need to activate it, actually. You won't need to post it. You need to activate it. But you have to be careful with this, because at different time, each assignment, I ask you a couple more things than the one before. So if you go with the right set of mind, it's going to be easier once I ask you, okay, so now it's not a transcript, I want an outline. It'll be easier for you because you're used to posting what your information, what you're saying. Right now, I'm not aware of this, but no one has let me know. But a lot of time we do have deaf people in the class. So it's important that they be able to read what you're saying, because that's what they'll do also. They'll either do their video with someone that will say what their speech is, or they can also write it down like inside of the transcript. We're trying to be inclusive, so it's really important that we do that. So we do the YouTube video, we post it, we post a transcript, and we post just a little paragraph. We don't dump a video in the discussion board. We post a little paragraph explaining what this is about quickly, you know, because we're communicating. So we want to be clear. We never want to email something, just email one thing, and then have the person guess what they're supposed to do with this. Or you just always, as a rule, you want to be the best communicator, the most efficient communicator that you can be. All your emails should be, hello, this is so-and-so. I'm contacting you because of blah, blah, blah. Here's whatever attached. Thank you so much. That's it. It's not long, but it shows that you're a great communicator. Not having this lacks communication. Does that make sense? Do you see it that way? Thanks, Mary. You know, there's also a thumbs up somewhere that you can click on. I don't know where it is because I can't see it any longer. So every time that you're going to see the sections for each speeches, discussion board, post YouTube URL and transcript, and then a second discussion board where you're going to go and tell us how it went for you, and you're going to go and tell somebody else how you think it went for them. Okay. And we're going to talk, what do we say? I'm going to tell you exactly what to say, and it's going to be awesome. You're going to be like, yeah, I never thought about this. So you're going to have the getting ready section with an expectation essay. You want to do that really laid back, look at the questions, answer them. And, you know, it doesn't have to be really long. I don't think I have a time frame for this one because I have a number set of questions. For the self-introduction, same thing. I have a bunch of questions as well. So you want to, and the expectation video essay used to be an essay. And then last semester, 3 students unexpectedly, they recorded their essay. And I'm like, why am I not asking them to record this? I could give them more points this way, more throwaway points, and it's more practice to get ready for the real speech coming up. I'm like, why didn't I think of that? So this is why we're adopting this, because of the students who showed me a better way. You have intercultural, the new discovery. You can see from here, there's not a lot of steps. This is getting ready, so there's a little bit more. But then here, there's multiple steps. So this is already, we're starting working on it for real, around more or less September 17, and you're producing it a month later. So this is the first speech that we're gonna do together, and I'm gonna hold your hand to it and make sure that every step of the way I tell you what to do. I also have virtual class session where I can review. Instead of doing it one person at a time, it takes a lot of time. We're doing it the same way as this. You bring that stuff. So this one here is, I'm going to explain to you how it's going to work, because it's going to be very different. You know, it's multiple step. You need to understand. And then I have a second one that's tentative. And this one would be, all right, guys, you did this. Let me go over it, but not one-on-one, everyone at once. This is how it should look. So you have yours, you work on yours, and then on the board, I'm showing you how it's, I don't have a board, so it's figuratively speaking. The board's going to be my computer. I'm going to show you how it's going to be built. And this way, you don't have to wait for me to go back and forth. You can have the feedback right away. Usually after that, maybe one more time you'll ask me to review your things, but it's pretty solid. It's pretty solid. It answers a lot of questions that way. Again, it's not mandatory, but the quality of the work between the people who go to that session and those who don't is astounding. And I don't have to do this. I'm not paid to do this. I'm doing this because it works. And I want you guys to succeed. I don't want you just to pass. I want you to blow it out of the water. So when, for those of you moving to a 4-year college, you'll hit the ground running. The true cost of higher education, we're not going to talk about it. I don't even think I've made that folder, and I don't think I've made these last 3 folders visible, because when I do, you guys panic and you're just running around like chicken with no heads. But it's like, no, by the time we get there, you got this. You're really good. By the time we get there, you are really good. You understand all of it. We've met a couple of times. I've reviewed your stuff. So if you see this now, you're like, oh my God, this is impossible. I actually had someone say, hey, I'm going to see you on Wednesday. And then last night he said, you know what? I went over the syllabus and I'm not doing this. I'm like, no, don't do this to yourself. You can do this. I'm here to make sure that you will do this, and you do this to the highest level. Okay, so I am with you, and whatever I can do to support you, I will. So don't give up on me on that. Okay, dates. Read this on your own. Those are, you know, kitchen sink information that you need to know. Well, one of the things I'll go over, is it in this one here? No, it's this one, the post. So you have to give feedback to a minimum of 2 classmates for each speech. Okay, so you're gonna do the informational, the introduction. So let's say Lisette does her introduction. Then she turns around and she watches everybody, or 4 or 5 at least of them. But if I were you, I'd watch everybody, because you don't know who does a really good job that you could copy for the next one. You know, don't be afraid to steal great ideas. Then she turns around and she checks Mary's video. And she's like, okay, Mary, this was really awesome. I like it. And then here's the critique part that you do. You tell Mary 2 things she did really well and 2 things she needs to work on. So Lisette could say, Mary, I really like this, and this was awesome, but can you make sure that your volume is cranked up? Because it was really hard to hear you. And even though I had my laptop all the way to the end, it was still really hard. So it made it a little bit difficult. Also, I really like, I don't know, your setup. She's outside, she's whatever. And I thought it was creative, but maybe next time you want to make sure that the light is in front of you and not behind you, and it's going to look perfect. That's it. That's all. You just find 2 things they need to work on. Now, lazy students are going to pick something that somebody else has found. So you're going to show that you're exceptional by finding better things, not things that are easy to see. You're going to find better things. Or maybe there isn't any things to get better at. Maybe it's all fantastic feedback. Like, this was great. This was perfect. Then it's that. Or maybe it was a little bit crappy. They were in their PJs. They obviously hadn't showered. Their hair was a mess. They were still lying in bed. You wish they had brushed their teeth. You know what? Like, you could say, yes, we had to watch videos like this. These are based on real experiences. And you can say, you know what? Maybe you want to make it so that it looks professional, and you give them that pointer in that sense. Because what we're doing is we're not doing homework. What we're doing is we're prepping for the new way that people are meeting. Look at me. I'm right now in Montreal, and a month ago I was in Nice. And because I'm working remotely, I can go all over the place to do this. But I always need to be somewhat professional. I can't be like, I'm in Nice, I'm in my bikini. Anyway, you wouldn't want to see that. That would be a horrendous view, trust me. But I'm in my bikini, and here's my, not tequila, what the heck do they drink? Limoncini. I had tons of limoncini over there. Like, I have my limoncini and I'm teaching the class. No, the thing is, we're practicing for a professional setting, right? So we want to involve ourselves at all this level. Okay, this is what we're trying to do. This is not homework. This is not class. This is speech. And this is speech that you're going to use at work or in other places. And you're going to be, maybe there's going to be people who are going to be lackadaisical, but when your camera turns on, everyone's going to know you mean business, because you'll be looking ready and ready to go. All right. So there's that. The quality of the post, that's what it is. Give them something they can chew on, something that they did well, something they need to work on, appreciate something else, ask them questions about what they talked about. This idea that we're going to be people with a college degree and the only comment we can write is, that was fine, that was great, good job. No, like, what is this? We need to communicate to people, because research shows us that something like 70% of college graduates are find jobs in supervisory role. And you know, one of the biggest complaints that people have about the supervisor is that they don't have good feedback. Well, practice doing it now. And remember, for those receiving feedback, it's not about who you are as an individual. The feedback is on your work. Your work can be crappy, but you never are. Okay? You could do work that needs to be done better, and it's fine. This is not you. You, the individual, is perfect the way you are, but your work can always evolve and get to the next level. If you're able to critique your way in that sense, with that thinking in mind, no one will hurt you by telling you that your work is crappy, because you're one step ahead of them. You know, I was reading the entire time I read the speech. That was kind of lousy. Yeah, you're right. I should have prepared better. I didn't have much to say halfway through. Like, these are the things that you want to criticize on yourself and open your eyes. And once you post them, I remember that, because this is what you're going to be working on the next time. So that's for your feedback that you give to yourself. Whatever you say, these are the things I did well, these are the things I need to work on. I'm going to watch to see that you are indeed working on those things on the next speech. Does that make sense? I don't have a lot of hands, so I'm not sure. Okay. Timeliness. Yeah, this one is tough. The reason, oh, wow, they changed the thumbs up. It's like it's moving now. This is so cute. The geek in me is really liking this. All right. Timeliness, you have to do this because people have to give you feedback. So you can't give your speech, you can't post your speech 3 weeks after it's due because your classmates have moved on. And you're going to post something and they're not going to read it because they've moved on. So that's the only reason. You may need time. That's okay. Come to me. Let's talk about it. Let's figure it out. But you can't have it always on the, like that because other people need you and you need them. That's the participation part. Okay. Okay, let's look at over the definition. The essay is not there because it's a new thing. I've only been doing this, I think, since summer 1. So it's not in this. And I was struggling so much with pages as opposed to Word. There was no way. Every time I typed something, it would just, the whole formatting was going crazy. So you're gonna have the detail of that speech directly in the getting ready folder. Okay. Hold on. I think that's one of you guys that keep telling me they can't get in. I'm unable. Yeah. All right. So this is basically what you want to answer. Is that big enough for you guys? Should I make it bigger? Let me see this, and let me close this, and let me. Hello. Why can't I? Hold on a second. I just want this. Oh my God. Okay. How's that? That's probably better, right? Can you read
Yes.
this better? Okay. Let me go back. Where was I? List of speech assignment. Oh, darn it. Okay, that table of content was important because in Word you clicked on it and it took you there. This is just not cool. There we go. Oh, okay, now we can read it. So those are the questions. In general, it's going to tell you the time frame. You can, I mean, you know, these are guidelines. It's okay if you do 2 minutes, but it's not okay if you do 30 seconds. And trust me, I've had a lot of 30 seconds. And it's not okay if you do 12 minutes either. Like, you know, try to stay within, I don't know, depending on the length of it. This one here, you can do 2 minutes. That's not a problem. Even a little bit shorter than 2 minutes. The reason why I make it so long is that people start talking about anecdotes, so it makes it longer. But they get paranoid that they're going to be punished. But if you answer all these questions, you get 100. So there's no punishment here. I just want to make sure that you do this. And please, just think about it. You don't need to read. Like, I have somebody write this. You know what's your name. You know what's your major. You know what's your career goal. Like, you don't need to read this information. It's about you. So this particular speech is more about you practicing looking at the camera and talking. It's okay if you forget, if you have to look at the notes, if you have to repeat, it's fine. In reality, you're probably going to practice 2 or 3 times. Some of you won't practice. Therefore, they're going to be recording 4 or 5 times. So that's still practice. Practice beforehand. So this way you don't have to record every single time. Try not to edit those first couple of videos because they help me tell you what to focus on. Okay, everybody's going to focus more about the content. My job will be more to focus about the delivery itself. Okay, and well, I mean, sometimes also the content, but I really want to try and make sure that we know where we're heading in that sense. All right. The intercultural speech. I'd like you to pick a culture, a subculture that's not your own. What's a subculture? Funny you ask. It's inside the folder. For each of these speeches, there's a folder, and that's how we work inside coursework. You go through the folder and you read the instructions. Don't read this. I have a student that contacted me. Actually, I talked to her till I think midnight last night. And she's like, what's up with my grade? I'm like, girl, half your stuff is missing. She said, what do you mean? I did all the speeches. I said, oh, you read this page and you went on the discussion board, but there's assignment related to this that are inside the folders. Like the discussion board is to post the speech, but the information on the speech itself is inside the folders, guys. So it behooves you to navigate the whole setup, which should be okay. And if it's not okay, let me know and I'll throw you a couple of bones for letting me know so I can fix it before more people ask me about it. All right. So this is the explanation. This is the speeches, and you go in the discussion board, but the detail of each of these projects is posted inside their respective folders. The folders each have the name of the speeches. The culture, let's say, for example, that you come from Brazil. Well, that's great, but I don't want you to talk about Brazil because the whole point is you trying to do a little bit of research. It's practice research and practice talking about something you're not 100% familiar. That's why I'm very lenient when I'm grading all the way to the intercultural. If you talk about yourself, you're cheating yourself of that practice. And by the time you get to the new discovery, you haven't practiced a lot. So you'll have the video essay, you'll have the self-introduction, and you'll have the intercultural. I consider these practice, mini speeches, because they're practice. And the ones after that, the ones that have this here, you see this? This means that you owe me more than just a video. You owe me more than that. You have multiple steps to do. And this means you definitely need to go into the folders. Like, absolutely. You can't wing it. Maybe that one, but I wouldn't, because I'll be honest with you. You guys are so nice, I'm going to tell you. This one here is a trap. It's a trap, Admiral Akbar. I'm not telling you what is the trap, but I love it, Mary, but it is a trap. Okay? This one is the one that everyone is so not interested in doing. And that's the one that everyone is super excited, because by that time that you do this, you have all the tools, so you know what you're doing. You don't need to be fussy any longer. And as you're doing the research, you're like, oh my God, oh my God. And I have a very, very cool documentary to show you on this that you can watch on your own time. That's not available now because I don't want you to watch it in advance. No cheaters. One folder at a time. The persuasive one. So by the way, if there's any speech that relates to work you've done elsewhere, you can reuse your other work. I don't care. You still have to turn it into a speech, and that's work in itself. So the point is not trying to make it difficult for difficult sake. The point is just trying to make it so that it's something that can be delivered. The way you talk one-on-one with someone is not the way you give a speech. And this is how we're going to learn the difference between a dialogue and a speech and how to make it better. Final analysis. What you're going to do for this one is you're going to go and take a look at all the feedback that you gave. And you said, I did this really well, but I needed to work on this. Let me know if you did indeed worked on all of that. And if you saw your evolution. The main reason why I do this is I do this with all the classes I teach, even math and stuff like that, is a lot of times students say, I didn't learn anything. And I think it's because you're not taking the time to see what you're learning, and you're also not evaluating your own performance. So it's really cool to see student being like, yeah, whatever, I did okay. I think I like my speech. Yeah, whatever, did okay. And then they slowly change and they say, you know what? I really could have done this, this, this. And then right after I posted it when it was the due date and I realized, oh my God, I could have researched. Like they're really into this and they understand. And now you will see that. How can a professor tell that you did the work the night before on the kitchen counter or 3 days before? Is not because it's a superpower. There's a difference between a first draft that you produce that you think is okay or good. Yeah, it's good because it's better than nothing, but is it really good? There's a difference between that draft and something that someone has worked on and has practiced. And all the steps of these future videos, they have to do with owning your topic, knowing it really well by massaging this information in different ways so that by the time you have the camera going, you're confident, you have no problem. You can stutter, you can stumble, you can forget, but those are just natural things that you do as a human being. They're not defining you as a speaker. The fact that you know what you're talking about and that it's well organized, this is what people will notice. Okay. So that's that. There's the criteria for the grade you can read on your own. And then as you're going to need to produce things that are going to be typed that are not going to be transcript anymore, they're going to be outline and stuff like that, I'm going to have the expectation that you write it either in APA or MLA. And I'm gracious enough to provide you with the help to see how to do that. And this is going to be with the new discovery. So don't panic yet, because you're not going to be grade fully with that one. With that one, we're going to master. And then the ones after that, you're going to be grade on your mastery. I always ask for just a little bit of thing, and then I add afterwards. So for example, here, all you have to do really quick, talk about yourself. Next one, I add a theme. It's got to be a culture or a subculture. The next one after that, okay, you really have to do research, but you have to do research the right way. And the next one after that, okay, now you have to focus on facts and on data and so on and so forth. So you're not overwhelmed by having to do all of that all at once. You can see looking back how you went from the first video to the last one. This is why when you're going to do your final analysis, a lot of students go back and watch their videos and they're like, wow, if I didn't do that, I wouldn't have been able to tell. There is such a clear difference in my confidence level. Yes, there is. And that's when we know we succeed. All right. So I'm going to skip that and I'm going to ask you, do you guys have any questions on the syllabus? Hopefully not. So we can jump right away. We have an hour left, not even. Mary, you're good. Sept, you're falling asleep, girl. Take a glass of cold water. Everybody else, they don't have I don't see
Oh, I have a question.
Gina, you know
Yes.
what? You don't have a shaved head when you got up.
Oh,
I
no,
thought
no,
you
no.
did. This is why the lighting is so
But
important.
I know what you're talking about, and it's a cute haircut. So my question is, it's about uploading the actual video. Like when we're recording it, am I recording it through my camera app, or am I recording it on where it says upload on YouTube, like, or create on YouTube?
Rephrase that a little bit. I'm not sure I get it.
So when I to make my video, will I be using the camera app on my laptop, or am I using like, or do I go to YouTube and click on the section where it says create and then upload?
Well, you can only upload what you've created before. You
Oh,
can
okay,
do it
okay.
2 ways. You can, like I could film right now, I'm on laptop. Do you have an iPhone,
I
Gina?
do not.
Okay. Do you have a Samsung, one of those latest?
I do have an Android.
Okay. So the latest Samsung, I don't know the number. I've never had Samsung, even though when I was a big Android girl, no one knows the brand that I used to do. It's a HTC. Oh my God, I love that brand. So, but the CEO is just a jerk and an idiot, and it destroyed the company. So that's why I have an iPhone now, because I refuse to buy anything else. So, if you have an iPhone or the latest Samsung, they're almost created for filmmakers. So it's not a bad idea to record yourself on your phone and then
Okay.
upload it on the system. So my Mac has a fantastic camera, I have to admit, but I also bought one off eBay. I think it cost me $15. I can tell you what brand it is. It's really nice. It's absolutely nice. Yeah, I think it might even have been less than that, because I bought for a bunch of friends at the same time. When I was here, I'm like, get this so we can talk to each other while I'm working. So once you have it, it's going to store it either on your laptop. Well, you know what? We're going to talk about it. Can we talk
Of
about it in
course.
the technical
Yep.
section?
Yep.
Okay, we'll talk about it in the technical section. But it's a good question. So write it down so in case. But yes, I want to go over this. We're good. So let me jump into the setup for Blackboard, and then we'll do the technical section like Gina was talking about as well. Okay. So when you log into not when you log, when you move into Blackboard, when you enter our class, it sends you straight to announcement. And the reason why is this is how I talk to you. Okay. And a lot of time I send it also as an email, but students tend to not look at it, but it's really, really important because there's no other way for me to communicate. If you send me email using Blackboard email, I realize now that I unlocked it, which I hate, but I might not have done it for all the classes. Let me check. So this one is B3 and B3, I locked it for you. But and this one is B6 and it's locked. So it's got to be only B8 that's sending me email this way. So this is the view as the instructor. Hold on, there's someone coming through. Or is that someone asking a question? Or someone coming through? Hold on, I lost the screen. I just shut down the screen because I thought no one else would be coming. All right. So if somebody sees someone in the waiting list or something, this new setup is not as perfect as it could be. Oh, maybe it's a message. Oh man, I didn't get to talk to him. Oh, I should have done the videos first. Anybody else needs to leave early? If you do,
I
let
do.
me
I
know.
do.
Who's that?
It's Gina. I have to be out by 11:26.
Okay. So Gina, let me just
Yep.
take a look at your setup quickly before you leave. Is that the place where you're going to be recording?
Oh, sorry. Well, so I'm not that's why I was asking, because I'm not really, because I can use I was thinking I was going to try between my phone and I just got a webcam, but I can use my phone.
Yes, you can do that. And but I was talking about the background, the setup. Is that the place where you'll be recording yourself?
Maybe maybe not.
Okay. So right there where you are, the
Yes.
lighting is fine.
Okay.
And the way you're set up is fine.
Okay.
But where
As
you
opposed
were, you had the
before.
light behind you. So what you would want to do is turn around and have the light in front of you. So, you know, when you take a picture of someone, you always have to make sure that the sun is behind your back as the photographer. It's the
Correct.
same thing with the film. The sun
Okay.
has to the light has to be thrown on the subject, because if it's behind, it's too dark. When you go into the well, I'll try to continue, and I don't want to jump too much from one to the other, but we can meet independently, Gina, if you want to. If you're
Okay,
quite
I
sure about the
appreciate.
setup, you'll be like, hey, listen, this is where I'm going to do it. Does that make sense? And then we'll go over this.
Just before I go, so this Sunday we should have something uploaded.
I can't I'm sorry, I do multiple classes, so you really have to trust the syllabus for that.
Okay,
You
that's
know,
no
in
problem.
the schedule section. So yeah, take a look at that. I was gonna tell you.
I will.
And I'm halfway decent at sending you guys reminder. Okay, and
Thank you.
also I'm not done yet, but this is what we're going through. We're going through Blackboard. So after the announcement, this is calendar assignments, and eventually they're all going to be posted in there. I just need to, this is the day I feel best since last week. I was a mess all weekend, and then just trying to catch up. And I'm dog sitting. I promised my friend, she's in Ukraine right now, and I promised, and her dog is hellish. It's like it's a puppy, and it's so not well behaved, but I swear she understands. She speaks French and Lithuanian and Ukrainian, but I swear she understands English, because whenever I curse her out, she looks at me. She's what's it called? German Shepherd. You know, their big head and the fluffy ears, and she turns around and she's like, girl, I heard that. So yeah, it's been hell. It's been hell. So anyways, this is going to be, as I'm feeling much better, I have to go back to the clinic this week, but hopefully I'll be 100% and it'll be all filled in there. Okay. So you'll be able to look into this and be able to follow. So those are two ways you can do this. You have the syllabus, the schedule, and you have this. And then when you click, let me go as a student, so that you see what it's not even showing me what you see, but kind of. So you're going to click on coursework. So these are the folders that you have access to, or you don't even have access to the discovery yet. Oops, hold on, exit preview. That's a new function. But if I go as myself, you're going to see that all the folders are there. I just need to make sure that the dates are correct, blah, 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 blah. That's the thing, okay? But what you need for the next month, that's what's the most important, is posted. So we go, oops, that's not, we're going to do that in a minute. So we go here. Let me turn that off. So I have students say, I can't be at the meeting, but I'll email you throughout the whole time, though, as if I could be there. Okay, so I'm posting information here. Whenever it's like this, it means that you can go inside. There's additional information. This is how we're sticking it to the man. This is the bigger font. This was done by a student of mine years ago. He wrote a script, but there's a bug in a script. The last page of the chapter is second to last, whatever. But people like to read that better. This here is me scanning it. So I like this better for me. And you can make it bigger by clicking on the plus sign, and you'll be able to read it. Okay. And the advantage with this is that this respects the pages, whereas the other link, it does not. So to me, it's really annoying because of that. If you click on this here, you're going to see there's no page number. And it's not respecting the link. Yeah, it's prettier, but that's about all for me. Okay, so that's the difference if you're wondering why we're doing it this way. And then you have the getting ready part. When you go into the getting ready part, it's this way because I'm forcing you to read each section. Okay, so let me make this a little bit bigger. If you were looking at a web page, you want to read and make it bigger, you press Control and the plus sign. It makes things bigger. And the control and the minus sign makes things smaller. Okay, just so you know. So first, introduce myself. You can move forward with this arrow, or by clicking on this. Okay, multiple ways to move forward. This is my video, and it's old. It needs to be changed. How prepared are you? So you have the skill assessment. I don't know when it's due. If you didn't have time to do it, let me know. I'll change the due date. Okay. I can do that. Oh, bye, Gina. I didn't even see the message. Thanks for responding to her, Mary. I didn't even see that. Okay, she just left now. The syllabus quiz. I think I'm so funny. I also have a degree. I don't just have a degree in communication. I also have an engineering degree in computer science. So I'm a big geek. So, and it's really hard for me because I'm old. So a lot of my memes are old and I'm trying to do something modern, but it's kind of hard. So tell me what I should put and that would be helpful. Technology that we use. Okay. How to create your YouTube account. New one. That's why it took me a little bit of time. I looked for something that was more updated. So this here, you can follow this and it's going to tell you how it goes from your phone or from your laptop all the way to YouTube so that you can view it. Okay. And the privacy setting, again, I tell unlisted. That's the way I said unsearchable. Unlisted. That's the one that you want. Okay. It's still public, which means we can see it, but we don't need to have a personalized authorization to be able to view it. That's the difference. And it's really important. Adding caption, remember, it's really important to have this because some of us have hearing issues. I'm deaf in one ear, so even though I can hear something, some disabilities are not always visible. So it's important to think about that when we're doing things to be inclusive. And this here, you want that paper, okay? Your best practices for the webcam. One day I'll film this, so that's gonna help you and see what you need to do. I have another one though, and I don't know where it is. It was 6 tricks that you need to do. I'll try to look for it. I don't see it anywhere. Maybe I'll send it into an announcement. All right, so I'm going back to coursework. This here are called breadcrumbs. So you never want to use your back button when you're inside a system like this because it erases data. You always want to try to use the breadcrumbs as much as you want. So I'm going to go back this way. First folder, self-introduction video. It's right here. Here are the instructions. This is what you want to talk about. So technically, it would be in the list of speeches, of video speeches, but because I just did this and I didn't have time to update it, that's where you find the explanation. Okay, this is why you need to go through the folders to find this stuff. And inside the folders, there's information that is additional to this. And when you click on this, feedback on producing your own video, you click on this, it's going to take you to the discussion board where you're going to post that. This is the only discussion board that's created specifically for this. For all the other videos, I want you to go inside that the board for it. Let me give you an example discussion board. So let's say for the intercultural. Oh, somebody posted it already. Wow, who did that? It says anonymous. That's
No,
not.
that's 6 months ago.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It doesn't always show you the real stuff when I'm a fake student. So I don't even know if this exists for real. It's very bizarre. I'd have to go out and back. So there's um a board missing right here, where a thread, sorry, missing, where you go inside the thread and you talk to one another to say how you felt, that how it went for you for that video. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back to this, outside of it, go back into, whoops, sorry. This is what I want. Coursework, sorry about that. Intercultural. Okay, so intercultural, I'm gonna click on. I think someone is trying to come in, but anybody sees someone trying to come in, can you please let me know? I hear someone knocking, but I don't. Oh, hold on a second. There it is. All right. Sorry guys, I didn't know I lost the participant page and I could not let you in. Hopefully you went out and back again. Okay, so this is a really funny video. Watch it because it's really interesting. It's just fun. This here is kind of a summary of chapter 3. You wouldn't even have to read it. You can just watch it. And this here will give you information about what is culture, what is subculture, what is counterculture. Because every time when we talk about culture, people think in terms of geographical boundaries. Oh, I'm going to talk about samurai. Oh, I'm going to talk about the Inuits. Oh, I'm going to talk about the Maasai warriors. But there's more than that. There's different movement. So I've updated it this week to add the Antifa and the alt-left movement, the alt-right movement, the turf movement, flower power, because a lot of people thought that the hippies were like all peace and love, but they definitely were not. They were so afraid of nuclear war that they were very destructive and disruptive for that. They thought, because at that time it was a possibility, they were going to die in a nuclear war. So, and that the government was not listening to people. So they were very destructive, and it's a very interesting culture. And so different ones here that I put that could be of interest to you. And then I put them in subculture examples and their counterpart in counterculture. Really interesting. So for example, you can, the difference between a culture, subculture, main culture, counterculture, you're going to read it to get it, but the culture is the main group where you live. So here would be the American culture. And if you go, let's say, to Little Italy would be a subculture inside of American culture. But if you're in Italy is not a subculture. It would be the main culture, and the place where all the American expats would hang out. That would be the subculture, if that makes sense, more or less, for you guys. The subculture just wants to be left alone. They want to do their thing. They want to dye their hair the way they want to. They want to pierce all over their faces. They want to eat no meat. They have a lifestyle, and they don't want to be bothered, and they don't want to bother the main culture. The counterculture wants to destroy the main culture, just like the flower power movement did. So you guys don't remember, but there was a lot of inside terrorism in the 60s and in the 70s. People were planting bombs all over the place, way before Tim McVeigh did it in Oklahoma. So you would have a subculture would be, I mean, I felt bizarre saying Native Americans because it's their land, but they're a subculture on their land, unfortunately. So that's the way it is. But you would have someone like the jihadists, where they are, would be their counterculture because they're destroying their own culture through hatred. So you have religious group that are subculture, live and let live. So you would have the Mormons, but then you would have the Church of LDS, which would be different, right? So that would be the counterpart. You have vegans, and then you have PETA. And PETA is a counterculture. And yes, that's coming from someone who's vegetarian, who don't eat animal product besides butter and stuff like that. But PETA wants to kill all pets. So that's pretty countercultural. They created fake shelters where they round up people's animals, even those who are not lost, and just put them to death because they think death is better than being a pet. Whatever, we're not judging. I'm just saying that's counterculture. That's not normal behavior. All right. So I give you, so you have cowboys. Cowboys is a culture. It's a lifestyle. You can't decide today, I'm going to become a cowboy or I'm going to become a farmer. A farmer can't take a vacation. Like it's very particular how they do this. They live a certain way and they die a certain way. That's what makes it a culture. It's not just wearing some clothes. It's your whole lifestyle that encompasses something. Okay. And then I have suggested reading. You don't have to do the reading. Sorry. That's from my own thing. You don't have to do the reading. It's just suggested. But if you're really into communication, I think you're going to love this. And this is a cool TED Talk right there that you might be interested in. Actually, I think there's 2 of them. The pros and cons of living in a subculture and gangs of the future. That's a really good one. All right, so do you see how if you go straight to the syllabus and you just do the video without reading this, you're missing a huge portion of your assignment. So now you're seeing how you really have to do this and move on from folder to folder to folder and links to links. I'm not going to do it for all of them because I only have 20 odd minutes to do the setup for everyone. So I'm going to leave the page on from what you, oh, hold on a second. This here, the technical setup on info, maybe that's where it is. Why do I have that twice? That's so weird. I have twice this thing. Setting up your webcam, maybe. This, you see, this is a link that doesn't even, it exists, but because of the update they did with Blackboard, it didn't carry my documents. So whenever you see this, you can just take a snapshot, shoot me an email and say, this file is not working. Can you please fix that? And I'll do that. This here, you see this? 6 pieces of advice for great video production. It's under technical setup, setting up your webcam. Use this. It's really good. So when you're filming yourself or you're taking a picture, you're trying to take a snapshot of something that is 3D. Does everybody knows the difference between 3D and 2D? And I'm not going to talk about the other Ds. Do you guys know? Mary, what is the difference? Tell us.
So 3D is at an angle where you see like how do you explain it? Like it's not like flat, but like there's dimensions to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So 3D is us because if I turn around, I have a nose, my glasses stick out, you know, I'm not like a picture on a paper. So when the camera, whether it's a video camera or just a camera, tries to take a snapshot of something that's 3D, it flattens it because it doesn't do 3D. Until we have holographic cameras, it flattens it. This is what people mean when they say the camera adds 10 pounds. It doesn't add 10 pounds, but it does squish your face. And I'm exaggerating, but you know what I mean. It flattens your face. This is why when you look at yourself, you're like, I don't look like that. You're right. You don't look like that. And this is why some specific looking people look good on camera, because the camera, you can cheat the camera better with their features. So if you have a strong nose, it looks really, really good on camera to have a strong nose. I know people don't like having big noses, but it looks really good on camera because it looks like you have a nose more than people who have a regular size nose. So what we're going to do with this here is we're going to trick the camera. First thing we're going to do is we're going to make sure that we're not right in the middle. We're going to do what's called let me take it on another page so I can have the full size. The rule of third. So you split your camera into third. When we're talking, it doesn't matter. I'm talking when we're filming. Lizette's got it, by the way. If you guys see it, she's like not right in the middle. You're just a little bit off, just a tiny bit off. Okay. And then what you're going to do, people are not going to see it. We're tricking the camera. We're just going to slightly turn the lower body, but the head's going to face strong and we're not in the middle. So we're tricking it into trying to recreate 3Ds. That's what we're doing. Okay. And this also gives us a better perspective. You don't want, if you have a laptop, make sure that you adjust it in a way that makes sense so that you're centralized as much as possible. Look at the picture of this young lady. And this is what you're aiming for, where she is. Your whole head is in here. So we're not chopping off half our head like this. We don't want that. And we also, if you're using your camera, you don't want to look down. You don't want, because even if you are super skinny, you're going to give yourself a triple chin. So you really want to make it at eye level as much as possible. Okay. So you're adjusting. But if you're centered inside the frame the way I am, then you are at eye level. I mean, it's easy for me because I'm doing it on the laptop. But to be honest, what all you'll need is, so I'm not upstairs because I don't want the dogs to be like jumping all over me. But you can have a camera stand for your phone if you're going to go with phone, and then you use it in that sense. Okay. So that's the first concept. You'll know where it is, so you'll read it on your own time. The lighting. If the light is behind you, this is what it looks like. This gentleman right here. Okay. So you really want to put the light in front of you. Again, the lighting. And you have to be careful because you don't want a washout. That's too much light. That's the washout. So I'm going to go and look at the, chin up. Hold on. So chin up. Look at the difference between this young lady here and here. Like you can tell that they look like different people, actually. So that's why you want to raise it. So Jean, we have to say Jean, right?
Yes.
Jean.
I'll
Okay.
answer to many different names, but Jean.
No, I want to call you what you want to be called. That's really important. So, but it's because I see it, and right now I'm in a place where I would be saying Jean, so it's kind of hard for me to like unplugged. So Jean right now also has the right setup. Perfect the way you are. That's how you would want to record it. Okay. The lighting is great. Your angle is great and stuff like that. I would just raise my head just a tiny bit, but now I'm being picky. Why do I want to be so picky? I don't want to. So, Mary is good, but Mary is angling outside, right? So when you're recording, right now it's perfect. But when you're recording, Mary, you don't want to look that way. You want to look where the people are. Right? You're talking to the people. So that's how you want to do this. Lisette, I told you already you were awesome. Joshua, Joshua, is it possible that you're like this? Straight up, my man. There you go. Looking better. Now you're straight in the middle, so you don't want to do that. Remember? So you want to be a little bit to the side and twist your body just a tiny bit. It's a trick. It's a camera. And then you can turn your face looking straight. Just the body will be okay. And shoulder down and back. There you go. Down and back. There you go. Try not to slouch. When you slouch, it shows. But also when you slouch, you're folding the bottom of your lungs, which makes it uncomfortable to breathe. So if you're anxious, you know what? Why would you want to squeeze that part? You need the air. The air in your lungs allows you to project and allows you to have a strong voice, which is very important. So you want to do that. Let me check the other cameras. Okay.
Thank you.
Julie was prepared from before, so she's awesome also. So great job. This is perfect. You guys don't have to make the back fuzzy. I made my fuzzy by accident. I mean, it's a white wall. What am I fuzzying? That's because usually I'm upstairs and that's why. But you only want it fuzzy if we're gonna see like a mess in the back. That's the only thing, you know. When my dog does her OnlyFans, she like stretch on her back, like stuff like that on the bed. It's like, are you doing your OnlyFans while I'm doing my class? So that's what you want to avoid, you know. Erica, I can't see you. Do you want to turn your camera on? Erica, Drew, and Brianna. Okay, hi there. I had seen you from before. Oh, cute. Look at, she knows what to do already. Yes. Okay, so it is still a little bit high. So if it's possible, is it a camera? Is it a webcam on a laptop? Is that why?
So I'm at my work right now, so I'm using their
Oh,
device.
don't worry then.
So
Okay.
it's not going to be the camera I'll use for my videos.
Okay. Well, too bad because it looks good.
maybe one or two if I can sneak it in.
Yeah, this is like really nice color and clear and
Okay,
no, this is
good.
a nice
Good.
job. The only thing, so you notice you're like a little head in the corner, so
Forward,
you want to
yeah,
avoid
it's
that.
higher up,
Okay,
yeah.
awesome. Okay, great. Thank you. Drew, you want to turn that on? And Brianna? So sometimes I have students, they come in and then they plug themselves in, but then they disappear. Drew's like,
Yes.
let me comb my hair. There you go. Oh, Drew, this is excellent. This is an example of something to be careful of. So because of his angle, then it's placed a little bit like this. You see that the ceiling becomes a wall behind him. So Drew, you must be on the laptop if it does that. Okay. And can you play with that laptop just a tiny bit? No, the other way. Yeah. Lower, just a tiny. I know you're gonna disappear. No, the way the yes. Okay. So the way it is right now, I know. Careful. The way it is right now, I know you're not all in. This is how you want it. You don't want the ceiling to be part of it because it distorts all of you, not just the background. It's like you're in a time warp in Star Trek, and you're being picked into a lens flare. But this is excellent. Okay, you just need to be a little bit closer. Does that make sense? So I have more of yourself in it. You have to play with it, but you get it. And the lighting is you just got to be careful. It's perfect, but it's right above your head. So you just got to be careful where you position yourself so you don't have like an alien light when you record with, like, you know, Captain Picard. There are 4 lights. All right, no one knows any of my Josh, did you understand? There are 4 lights. Do you know what that means? I don't know.
You mean 4 lights?
You never watched
Wait,
Star Trek.
I don't think I caught
That's
that.
okay. You never watched Star Trek. That's why you wouldn't know. All right. So Brianna, my friend, can you turn that on? Brianna's like, she just logged in and then she went to have breakfast and she forgot there was a class. She never came back.
No, sorry, I'm here. I'm at work right now.
Oh, okay. So if you want us to take a look at it and to check it, let me know, okay?
Thank you.
No worries. Okay, clear the clutter. So don't be like Kim Kardashian here. Just you know, make the background fuzzy if it looks like that and behind you. It just makes it better. And but also you can be creative. If you have a nice wall in your place, or if you want to record at the college on if you go to campus, just be careful of outside noises. I have some students that want to do outdoors. Outdoors is really hard because some phone microphone pick up all the noise, all the rustling of leaves, the wind. So you could do this. There's microphones for phones that will temper the sounds around. Actually, it's perfect just for talking. And they're very cheap. You can't do them if you want to play music or anything like that. They will only capture voices. So if you want to do them outside, you can do that. But try to find different places so that you test different ways to be comfortable in your environment. All right. So eye level is really important. Here are little tricks that you want to use if you're using a different type of cameras that's not a laptop to try to bring it to eye level. Books, those clips, I've used that trick a million times. The clips on top of books, that's how I do with my camera. You can also buy a stand. Now they're cheap, so you could, if you can afford it, buy a stand. And yeah, be creative how you do it. Try not to hold the phone if you're going to record yourself on the phone, because I don't care how strong you are, you're going to be shaking at some point in time. Okay, you need to place it. You can record yourself somewhere, but you need to place it somewhere where it's stable and that you can use your body as well. Some of you may be like me and you use your body to go, you know, to be interactive and stuff like that. Okay. Oof. I'm like 5 minutes late because I like to have at least 15 to 20 minutes for questions. But we have about 8 minutes or longer for those who can. I have a little bit of time afterwards. So questions. Julie.
Since I accidentally logged out and whatnot, did I miss the whole uploading to YouTube?
Oh yeah, no, actually, thank you about this. Let me go to YouTube.
Just because I don't have a clue either.
Sorry, I have to put my goal for the day. All right. There's my channel.
And my Gmail is different than my Qmail one. Is it okay to use my other one, the one that's on my computer?
You know, you honestly, you can use what you want. It's just the level of, you have to be aware of the privacy issue. That's all.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay.
That's not a problem. And you might want to create something specifically for the class so it's not confusing. I don't know how to do that because they changed that setup in YouTube. So for me, I created this account and it's specifically for speech, so it's fine, you know. But for you guys, you'd have, if you find how to do it, Julie, and you tell me or you post it somewhere, I'll throw points your way, like how to do multiple channel, so you can, because if you use your personal one, but you want to do the homework in there too, and you want to separate it, I don't know if it's feasible, but if you find a way, please let us know.
Oh yeah, I'll figure something out. Thanks.
Because you're awesome. Okay, so we click on create. Let's say you recorded yourself and it's either on your laptop or it's on your phone. So first I'm going to reduce this size a little bit. And then let me do the finder. And I need a video of something. Hold on a second. Video. What could I, where could that be? Cloud Drive. Zoom. That's what I need. You know what? I have no idea what the Zoom videos go. Okay, so I can't remember where my videos are because, as I said, I'm new in this, so we're gonna fake a video for now. I know I have videos somewhere. You see, this is the problem with Apple. It doesn't like to have more than one Windows at once. I hate this about it. So I'm gonna try to show you how to do this. So you click on this here, which is create, and it says upload video. So what you do is you can just drag and drop. So you can take it from here, pick this, and then dump it inside of it. Depending on the length of your video, it might take some time. So the first 3 videos, it's gonna take just a couple of minutes, if that. But the other ones, it might be longer. So just keep that in mind. Once it's done, you go into, let's say, this one here. You go into this, and then it says to put the details. So this would be your first page, okay? And as soon as you start changing things, that save button is going to be live. So you put a title that makes sense. So if it's self-introduction video, just that is okay, that's fine. But for me, what I do is I put SPH101 in it because mine are public, and this way you can find me. I put DPL, which are my initials, in it. And then, I put a couple of things, but when it's going to be your intercultural, maybe you want to call it intercultural life in in an Inuit tribe, and then you put that, like, you want to be an efficient communicator. So being vague, using just one word, you want to try to avoid this. You want a description for your video, okay? And then Blackboard is going to pick a thumbnail for you. You can select it. But for me, I uploaded this image. So you can also upload an image as a thumbnail, and that's how you're going to start. You don't have to do this at first, but if you want to start playing and you're not familiar with it, go for it. If you have a playlist, you can put it inside a playlist. I mean, Julie is going to let us know how to separate the channels and stuff like that, that she finds that. So maybe that's the way we're going to do that. Right here, before I go down, right here, you have the visibility. For me, it's public. For you, you would want it unlisted if you're afraid to have your video online, okay? There's nothing to be embarrassed about. There's hundreds of them, so you don't have to put it unlisted. You're still going to be difficult to find. But if you want to make sure no one that you don't want to see sees it, don't put restriction if you're allowed to, because it's going to complicate things. All right. You want subtitle, if you want to end screen. Okay. Right here says audience. This video is set to not made for kids. Please always select not made for kids, because you're going to get in a boatload of trouble. I know what you're thinking is, yeah, but there's nothing untowards. That's not the point. It's classified differently when you say made for kids with YouTube. And there's a million things that could be risque and you don't even know about it. So make it not for kids and you will never have a problem. No age restriction. If necessary, don't restrict my video, okay? Since you're not going to do this as promoting a channel for fun, you don't need the show more section, but you can explore all you want. Once this is done, you can go into the, let me change one thing just for the sake of it, and let me put the T. Wow, it knows what I'm doing. That's the That's the weirdest thing. It won't show me the save button because it knows I didn't change anything. Oh my God. So in any case, once you do this, you move forward, there's going to be a section when you can edit the video. It comes with YouTube. It's that editor right here. There you go. So you can trim and cut and do whatever you want from here. It's really cool. If you have an iPhone, it already comes with the iPhone. So you could do all of that before you upload it. You know what I mean? Instead of here, because it's a little bit quirky. For me, I have free Android tools that I use. My dead laptop, I can't use it to fully work on it, but I do use it to edit videos sometimes because I'm more fluent with the Windows tools than I am. Hasn't been a year yet on my Mac, my MacBook. So even though it's MacBook Pro, so I should be all gonzo to do videos on it. It's just the learning curve is so high. If I want to produce something really quickly, I don't have time to mess around with this. So I thank you for asking that question, Julie, because I had overcome it. But even though it's not fancy, there's a bunch of tools that are basic that you can use. If you're like, you know what, I'd like to go to a higher level, contact me and I'll share with you some of the tools that I have that are free and some that I have that are paid, that you could use that are a little bit fancier than this. And what's cool is you fix it before you put it there. So you just have to upload it and you're done. Because it's really quirky working directly with, I find it. You might not have a problem with it.
So how do I get the link that I would be putting for them to click on?
Okay. So once you're done with it and you like it, oh, by the way, you can look at comments if you're checking the comments and the rest of the stuff right there. So let's say I'm done. I like this. I go back and I click on it. This was for last semester. I'm going to click on this here. No, I have to get out of my channel. I have to get out of my channel, of my video thing. Okay, so I'm here. Now I'm here, right? So where it says share, Julie, you just click on this. Don't copy the link.
Where to find the 2 new objects that I've posted. I think there were some issues.
I can't hear you.
Must have received this announcement that says that there's a new test and a new survey, right? So they're called tests because of the format that I use.
Is somebody asking a question or is it just my recording? Okay. That share here, if you click on copy, it's just going to paste the link. Oh, I think actually Blackboard has changed that. I think that's one of the changes they did. Let me go and take a look. I'll go here. Let me get out of preview. Well, maybe I could have done it on preview. Let me find the discussion board. I think they might have changed that. Discussion board. I'm just gonna do I don't know what that means if I don't have the right post here. I'm gonna have to double check. Submit. Okay, so I'm gonna do this one here that doesn't exist for you guys in here. Create, no, cancel. Oh no, okay. Create thread, test. Okay, the puppy's getting impatient. So right here, if I do this, whoops. Okay, so I want to attach my transcript. I'm going to click on the plus sign here. Insert local file. And then I'm going to pick something. And just for schmitz and giggle, I'm gonna pick this here and it puts it right there. Okay. But you don't have to do this anymore because I think in the new tools of YouTube, it it incorporates it. Up to like 6 months ago, you had to type the transcript yourself, kind of, but now it does it for you, and it seems the AI seems to do a good job. So I'm gonna submit it. You can attach this way too. So if you have to attach multiple files, you can attach them one after the other right here. If you only have one file, you can just do the browse file here. I always use this, I don't know why. So I submit it and I'm gonna go to it, testing, click on it, and oh, it didn't work. Okay. So I don't know how people are embedding. This is how I embed. Copy. So embed will post the video straight up in there. So I click on this here. It's the code. I do save and then it posts it. So then the video is inside. I'd have to take a look and see, because I know students do it and I know they don't go through the embedding. There used to be a way that you copied the link and it showed you the small clip of the video, of your YouTube video. That's why I tried with this, but it doesn't seem to have done it. It only posts the link directly. If you want a link that, if you post a link like this, then when they click, they lose the spot where they are, right?
Oh.
So the best way to do this is when you post the link, let me highlight the link. Let me go on the link. Choose open a new window. And then save. Submit. So when I click on it, I still have my page. So I can
Okay.
view other people's
I agree.
video.
So I'm just going
So I, whoops, you won't hear
to
me.
find the
I can
two-
view other people's video, but I won't lose my spot in the discussion board. It's really easier if you do it this way. And I'm so appreciative of Julia for asking this because I was trying to rush by the end and I completely forgot. So I'm going to post this. You'll be able to review it at a slower pace as well. So thank you for that opportunity, Julie. Couple of points for you. That was really helpful.
Thank you.
No, it's true. You can't always think of everything. So we work as a partnership. So it's now 8 minutes past. Questions. I don't have a problem. I'm open for you guys. I'm open till 1300 hours. So I'm good. Joshua, okay, the puppy's going nuts. Joshua, question?
No, please. I pretty much got everything. Thank you very much.
Awesome. You're welcome, my friend. Let me see who else is with me still. Jean, question?
I am good. Thank
Oh.
you so much for your time.
My pleasure. That's the fun part of my job. That is the fun part. Mary, how you doing?
Good. How about you, Professor?
Oh, I've done better. But you know what? When I talk to my class, it's so funny. I'm so lucky because I love my job. So when I'm in front of you, I'm like, hey, as soon as I turn this off, I'm going to be like, I need to lie down and vomit. But in the meantime, I'm like, I'm so excited. You guys are fun. You're not, it's a good group. I have, you know, when you have a good feeling about something, sometimes you don't know why you don't, but I have a good feeling for this semester, even though it started horrendous. So I'm very grateful for that feeling. Drew, how you doing, bud? Thanks for asking, Mary. Drew's gonna take his time because he's got to turn it on and then he's on the mute and blah, 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 blah. Okay, I lost him. Erica, you're good? can just throw a thumbs up. Brianna, you're probably good.
Yes, I'm good. Thank you.
Okay.
Hi,
So,
Professor.
hi.
I actually do have a question. So I missed the beginning of this because I didn't see the Blackboard email, and I was just hoping to jump on at the 11:30 Zoom that you have typically on Wednesdays at 11:30. So I'm just a little confused on the YouTube part of this. Is where exactly are we submitting the assignments? Like, are we going into YouTube just to make like a title or something, or is that how we're making the videos?
Okay, so YouTube, the reason why you use YouTube and stuff instead of putting the recording on the discussion board is
Yep.
because you have YouTube pay the broadband as opposed to students. Because if students are watching this on their phone, this is going to take some what's the word I'm looking for, guys? What we pay for the phone. Oh my God, I'm drawing because the dog is whining upstairs and she's distracting me.
Data.
What is it? Not the network. You know what I'm
Data.
talking, huh?
Data.
The data. Thank you. It's gonna use the data. So you have YouTube use the data. You stream for there, and then you go back to the discussion board and you post the YouTube on the discussion board.
Okay.
Does that make sense? So YouTube is the tool to produce your video and the discussion board only for the video. The rest of the assignments, you have to look inside the folder. It tells you where. But for the videos, you put it in discussion board so that everybody goes there. And then, oops, sorry about that. If I go here and I click, let's say, on the introduction, there's no introduction right there. But there's an example of a thread that I created. So you post it like this, and everybody can watch it from there.
Okay.
And also YouTube allows you to obviously to edit the video.
When you come back in, can you bring some lemonade?
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome, dear. We're good. Thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it. I'm going to be here every Wednesday, but I don't think it's 11:30. I think it's 10:30. Is it 11:30? I'm going to double check. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
9:30.
Is it? What's that, Julie?
You'll have to check. I'm sorry, but I thought it was 9:30.
Okay. So in any case, all I do is sit down in front of the laptop and work. So it doesn't matter to me. I'm going to be here. Okay. And who said, can I have some lemonade? Oh,
It was on my speaker because I'm at work. So they're asking me to bring something when I go back for my clients. Sorry.
yeah, I'd like some too, dude. You can't be talking about food. That's when someone comes to the real class with food. I'm like, nah, nah, nah. If you do that, you're sharing with the whole class. This is unacceptable. So, all right. Thank you so much for taking the time. I hope I answered your questions, but you know what? Sometimes after you sit down and let it simmer, the questions pop up. So, you can contact me, or maybe I could even create a thread, something, and then you can post it there and all of us can answer anything as best as we can. Let's do this as a team. All right. And you guys are fantastic. I think it's going to be a fun semester. Yeah, it's going to be a little bit intense, but you know, at least it won't be boring. And you know, it's going to be the best A you ever got. How about that? So thank you.
Excellent. Thank you. Bye.
Have a fantastic
Thank
day.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome.